Lord, we thank you for all the blessings that you give us each and every day. We thank you for another day on this beautiful planet. We ask that you please watch over our drivers, teams, crews, officials, and our wonderful fans. We ask that you watch over our men and women in uniform that protect and serve this great nation. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen. Let's go racing tonight at Midvale Speedway, Thunder in the Valley, week number 14. Fastest qualifier, Alex Rosenberry, in the Rosenberry Towing Flight Test sponsored number 2, and the number 6 of Larry Baker from New Franklin, Ohio. 8-lap McIntosh Oil Company late model heat race is green. Ritter with the advantage on the outside into turn number 1, and Miller pulls back even down the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Into 3, side by side, Ritter and Miller. Miller going to have the advantage coming off the corner. He'll lead lap number 1. Ritter will try to get to the bottom. Little bit of contact between Miller and the 28 as Bryant Smith moves up to the second spot. Here comes Bryant Smith in the 1 as Miller comes off of the bottom lane. Ritter and Bryant Smith battle for the second spot. Mike Miller out in front. Bubba Smith, Tom Stankiewicz battle for the 4th and 5th spots. Rosenberry 6th, and then Baker in the number 6 is 7th. Miller continues to open up the bottom for Smith, but Smith unable to dispose of Ritter so far for the second spot. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go for Mike Miller. Smith starting to pull out in that second spot ahead of Ritter. Ritter hanging on in the outside lane. Now gets another good run. Maybe some more contact between Ritter and Miller. Smith tries to get to the bottom. Miller closes the door. Miller continues to leave the bottom of the racetrack open. Smith trying to fill that lane. 2 laps to go. Brian Smith all the way up to the second spot. Bubba almost clears the 28 of Ritter for 3rd. And now Rosenberry up to the 5th spot as the white flag is in the air. Final circuit for Mike Miller, your race leader. Brian Smith going to try and get a run on the outside lane into turn number 3. Here comes Brian Smith. Bubba will try to fill the bottom lane. Your winner is going to be Mike Miller. Bryant Smith will finish 2nd, Bubba Smith in 3rd, Jonathan Ritter 4th, Alex Rosenberry 5th. Your winner from Clinton, Ohio, in the Powerline Race Engines, Baker Race Cars, Timeless Timber, Selway Heating and Cooling, Automotive Electric, The Shirt Factory, Wagner Fabrications, Cherry Street Creamery, and Giuseppe's Pizza, sponsored number 53. Put your hands together for Mike Miller. And the 31 of Doug Summers from Doylestown, Ohio, and the Patty's Busy Bee Cleaning, Old Stone Jail, Tom and Sharon Rutledge, sponsored number 31. Monar and Martin, 8-lap heat race number 2 is green. They'll try it again off of turn number 4. Green back in the air for Monar and Martin. Monar gets the advantage through turns 1 and 2, slips a little bit in 2, and here comes Ripley. Todd Ripley in the 22 will take the race lead into turn number 3. Monar fades back on the high lane with Martin as the 17 of Snyder up to second, lap number 1 to the 22 of Ripley. Monar tries to battle the 45 of Hoopengardner for that third spot. And Summers running 5th, Martin back to 6th. Monar really loose in the center of the corner as Hoopengardner takes over the third spot. Summers up to 4th. Martin going to try the inside of Monar down the back straightaway. Your leader continues to be Todd Ripley in the 22. Snyder closing in on Ripley. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. The 22 of Todd Ripley going to be shown the black flag this time for going under his qualifying time. Your race leader is Bob Snyder Jr. Ripley, your early race leader, goes pit side after breaking out of his qualifying time. Leaves Bob Snyder Jr. with a hefty lead over the 45 of Hoopengardner and the 31 of Summers. Good battle for 4th between Monar and Martin. White flag for Bob Snyder Jr. Battle for second. Summers takes a look to the inside of Hoopengardner. Not going to make it work. Your winner is Bob Snyder Jr. Gary Hoopengardner finishes second. Doug Summers in third. Dave Martin finishes 4th. And the 48 of Gene Monar Jr. spins in turn number 2. He will finish in the 5th spot. In the Landstar recruiting agent, Jeff Seacrest, Yoder's Plumbing, Allen's Muffler, Factory Street Pub and Grill, West High Auto, Guest Motors. Sponsored number 17. Put your hands together for Denison, Ohio's Bob Snyder Jr. The 24 is Old School tonight, Glenn Jewell. And your fastest qualifier and point leader, the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr. Down into turn number 1, Mike Green going to have the advantage off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Has the 54 cleared. McMillan decides to stay on the outside lane. Philip Cox going to try and fill the bottom lane. McMillan gets down, chops in front of the 09 of Cox, and contact in turn number 1. So Mike Green, your race leader. Doug McMillan runs second. Then Bryce Allensworth and Brandon Bailey. They'll get the green flag off of turn number 4 from chief starter Jason Neely. And we're back under green flag racing with 7 laps to go. McMillan gets a much better start this time and is side by side into turn number 3 with Mike Green. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Mike Green now takes the advantage out front as McMillan slips back into the clutches of Bryce Allensworth. Allensworth currently second in points in your modified division, moves up to the second spot, has a feature victory a few weeks ago. And here comes Lee McCurry, your defending winner last week. Also was the fastest qualifier. He'll move up to the third spot, dropping McMillan back to 4th. Bob Sibla Jr. runs in the 5th spot. Mike Green, still your race leader at the halfway point. McCurry twitched a little bit off of turn number 2. He'll keep the third spot as Sibla gets to the bottom of the 54 of McMillan. He'll take over 4th. And Bailey going to try and take 5th away from McMillan off of turn number 2. Now contact between the 55 and 54, and they're hooked together on the back straightaway. So Doug McMillan and the 55 of Bailey get together off of turn number 2 and get hooked together as both of those machines go through the infield. Behind him, McCurry 317 points back. So Bailey and Cox battle for the third spot. As the green comes out, Mike Green, Bryce Allensworth. Green going to continue to get the advantage off of turn number 2 using the bottom lane. Allensworth trying to fight back. Now here comes McCreary. He sticks his nose on the bottom and going to pull alongside the 21 of Allensworth. Move Lee McCreary to the second spot as Mike Green continues to pace out front. There's the points battle between the 21 of Allensworth and the 82 of Cibla. Allensworth needs all the points he can get, needs to stay in front of that 82. One more circuit to go. Does McCreary have anything for Green? Off turn number 4, your winner of heat race number 1 is going to be Mike Green. Lee McCreary will finish second, Bryce Allensworth third, Bob Cibla Jr. fourth. Heat race number 1 of the Summit Racing Economy Modified Division. From Louisville, Ohio, in the All Parts Auto Care, Bob's Auto Sales, Diana Rental, sponsored number 36. Put your hands together for Mike Green. And the 27 is Braden Swaney. Green flag is in the air. Krebs going to get the run on the outside lane into turn number 1. Hudson will battle back and will have the advantage by inches going into turn number 3. Still side by side between Wise and Ripley in row number 2. Now way up the racetrack, Wise gets sideways, Krebs gets sideways, and that's going to allow Hudson to take over the race lead. Big push in that number 40. Wise takes over the second spot. Todd Ripley dropping as he's stuck behind the 40 of Krebs. Lucas Ripley moves up to the third spot. Here comes Andrew Wise for the race lead. Around Mike Hudson, here comes Ripley for second. New race leader, Andrew Wise. Swaney and Krebs battle for that 4th spot. Big log jam for the 4th spot between Swaney, Krebs, Ripley, and Kaufman. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. Andrew Wise, Lucas Ripley, Mike Hudson, your 3 race leaders. Ripley all over the 14 of Wise. Wise gets a little squirrely off of turn number 2. Ripley not quite there. Wise gives him a little bit of room, gets a good run in the middle lane, continues to lead with 2 to go. Andrew Wise doing a nice job in that number 14. Slipping off of turn number 2 again, still not quite opening that door for the 0 of Ripley. Wise sideways off of 4. White flag in the air. Here comes Ripley for the race lead. Is he in there enough? Is Wise going to close the door? Oh, Wise going to spin. Made contact with Ripley, slides in front of Hudson, and the checkered flag is out. Your winner is going to be the 0 of Lucas Ripley. Finishing second, the 92 of Hudson. Third, the 10 of Kaufman. Then the 65 of Todd Ripley, the 27 of Braden Swaney, the 40 of Keith Krebs, the 46 of Joe Slentz, and tough break for Andrew Wise in the 14. Pulling to the line, your winner was a feature winner a couple weeks ago from Yorksville, Ohio, in the Brindle Trucking Denim Oilfield Service Canal House, sponsored number 0. Put your hands together for Lucas Ripley. 28 is Waylon Orr, and the number 3 tonight is Tad Grove, looking to try and pick up some ground for his brother tonight on that 21 of Richie. Green flag in the air, 8-lap street stock heat race. Aubil and Passwater Sr. race down into turn number 1. Aubil with the advantage off of turn 2. Here comes Larry Smith and Todd Miller still battling for that 3rd spot. Aubil with the advantage on the bottom of the racetrack, going to take over the race lead at the line. Here comes Larry Smith looking to take over the race lead as he looked to make a 3-wide move into turn number 3. Decided better of it as Aubil closed the door. Bill Aubil continues to lead. Passwater still on the outside. Larry Smith runs 3rd. Colton Ritchie up to 4th. Todd Miller in 5th. Tad Grove and Waylon Orr. Here comes Larry Smith. Gets Passwater's up out of the road. Passwater sideways between 3 and 4. And Larry Smith will take over the second spot, and he'll look for the race lead on the outside of Abil down the back straightaway. Colton Ritchie sliding back in the outside lane. Todd Miller up to third. Tad Grove to fourth. Larry Smith, your new race leader at the line, halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. Abil slides up into the 44 of Smith between turns 1 and 2. 2 by 2. Smith will have the momentum on the outside. He'll take the race lead. Once again, he'll lead lap number 5. Now contact between Abil and Miller, stacking up the field. Is Larry Smith going to pull out and clear Abil for the race lead? New race leader, Larry Smith. Tad Grove up to the second spot. Abil back to third. Miller fourth. Colton Ritchie in fifth. Tad Grove driving for his brother in that number 3 machine. Does he have enough to get around the 44 of Smith? White flag for the 44 of Larry Smith. Abil thought about taking a look in the inside of 3 of Grove. Was unable to make it work. Off of turn number 4. Heat race number 1 to Larry Smith. Tad Grove will finish second. Bill Abil third. Todd Miller finishes fourth. Colton Ritchie fifth. Pulling to the line from Canton, Ohio, picking up another heat race win. In the Stewart's Flooring, Joe's Auto Service, Appliance and More, sponsored number 44. Put your hands together for Larry Smith. Looking for the green flag off of turn number 4. Barker and Wisman. Green is in the air. Heat race number 2. Barker will have the advantage on the bottom of the racetrack. Going to take the race lead off of turn number 2. Wisman tries to battle back in the high lane. As Bertram and Passwaters Jr. there. Bertram gets sideways. Wisman gets sideways. Bertram really sideways. Passwaters Jr. going to move up to the second spot. Hoopengardner looks to come up to third. Hoopengardner to third. Bertram to fourth. Wisman back to fifth. TJ Barker continues to lead. Passwaters now will take a look to the outside lane off of turn number 2. Here comes Hoopengardner going to fill the bottom. The Express Services number 1, Gary Hoopengardner, your feature winner a week ago, looking to take over the second spot from Bob Passwaters Jr. The number 11 of TJ Barker will be the black flag this time around. We'll have the black flag displayed to him for running under his qualifying time as a 74 of Passwaters has issues in a 74. Tough break for Bob Passwaters Jr. That moves Kyler Bertram to the race lead. Hoopengardner to second, Wisman to third, and Kylie Wood in fourth. Kyler Bertram in the 55 has a bunch of feature wins in the mini truck division. Leads heat race number 2. Hoopengardner, your feature winner 1 week ago, looks to take over that top spot. Goes to the high lane, gets sideways through 3 and 4. White flag for Kyler Bertram. Here comes Hoopengardner. Bertram all the way on the bottom of the racetrack. Slams the door on the 1 of Hoopengardner. Now gets sideways through 3 and 4. Your winner, Kyler Bertram. So Hoopengardner will finish second, Wisman third, Kylie Wood finishes fourth, and your winner in the Falls Auto Body, Lakes Recycling, Bond Heating and Cooling, sponsored number 55 from Springfield Township, Ohio. Put your hands together for Kyler Bertram. Is Dusty Nicholas from New Philly, Ohio, and the 118 is Colt Locker from Summerdale, Ohio. 8-lap heat race in the mini truck division is green. Cody Jayberg with a good run on the outside down into turn number 1. Bedard slides up the racetrack. Jayberg going to take the race lead down the back straightaway. Cordia looks to take over the second spot as 3 wide for the 4th spot between Leinard, Nicholas, and Varnes. Bedard now going to slide up in front of the 82 of Leinard as Cordia looks to the outside of Jayberg. Cordia going to take over the race lead. Jayberg back to 2nd. Nicholas runs 3rd. Varnes in 4th. Leinard in 5th. Sideways is the 72, the limousine truck of Derek Cordia. Leinard looking to get around the 95 of Varnes. Little bit loose off of turn number 2. Nicholas takes over the 2nd spot from Jayberg. Jayberg continuing to run in the 3rd spot. Good battle behind him between Leinard and Varnes. Nicholas trying to wheel in the 72 truck of Cordia as Leinard moves up to the 3rd spot. Colt Locker to 4th. Jayberg back to 5th. 4 in, 4 to go. Dusty Nicholas to the outside of Cordia. Thought about it. Cordia slide up the racetrack. Now sideways again. Going to try and protect the bottom. He's going to slam the door. Nicholas going to look back to the high lane. Colt Locker up to the 3rd spot. Joe Leinard back to 4th. Jayberg still runs 5th. Here comes Nicholas down into turn number 3. Cordia on the bottom. Nicholas on the high side. Nicholas at the line, going to take over the race lead, drop to the bottom in turn number 1. New race leader, the 23 of Dusty Nicholas. Cordia back to 2nd. Here comes Colt Locker and Leinard. All 4 machines. Pretty good heat race here in your mini truck division. White flag in the air for Dusty Nicholas. Cordia sideways off of turn number 2. Locker checks up. Leinard goes to the outside of him. Off turn number 4, your winner, Dusty Nicholas. Derek Cordia finishes 2nd. Colt Locker 3rd. Joe Leinard 4th. Cody Jayberg 5th. Michael Varnes 6th. And Alan Bedard in 7th. And he took back over the ride tonight. Going to gain some ground on his stepdad, who's in the points lead, looking for a motor still. Said he's going to be back next week. But tonight, put your hands together for New Philadelphia, Ohio's Dusty Nicholas in the M&D Design-sponsored number 23 truck. Is Larry Ennis Sr. and the 21 of Gage Jayberg. So Wes Ennis picked up a feature victory in the 50 a week ago. His dad's going to try it tonight. Green flag in the air for Clark and Ennis Jr. Clark, the race leader. Ennis Jr. tries to battle back on the outside. Is Finlayson all the way on the bottom. Ennis Jr. going to take over the 2nd spot, or keep the 2nd spot, I should say. Good battle for 3rd between Finlayson and Bucky. Here comes Salisbury and Ennis Sr. Little contact between Finlayson and Salisbury in the back of the pack, or middle of the pack, however you want to look at it. Salisbury getting a little antsy in at number 4, behind the 15 of Finlayson and the 69 of Bucky. Oh, lost a tire in the 57 of Ennis Jr. is John Neely. I think might have to go change his underwear in turn number 2, as he had that tire headed right for him, and you can see that white mark right next to the chair over there in turn number 2. Tough break for the 57 of Ennis Jr. So Alan Clark, Dan Bucky, the team cars in the 169 and 69 off of turn number 4. 5 laps to go. Bucky going to get a good run on the outside. Is he going to chop his teammate off in turn number 1? Nope. Clark battles back and will take the race lead by a half a car length down the back straightaway. Salisbury giving Bucky a little push into turn number 3. Alan Clark getting better and better each and every week, and that 169 continues to lead. Second generation driver, son of Delmer Clark, former ARCA racer. Here comes Salisbury threading the needle. Not quite able to make it work as Bucky closes the door. Now Bucky, problems for him, and he hits the wall in turn number 4. Problems for Dan Bucky as something broke on the right front. So getting ready to go back to green right at the halfway point, 4 and 4 to go. Alan Clark, Blaine Salisbury on the front row. Green is back in the air. Salisbury going to get the run down into turn number 1. Clark will battle back just like he did the last restart on the bottom. He'll have the lead off of turn number 2. Salisbury now with a stronger engine down the straightaway. Piles it into turn number 3. Clark again battling back on the bottom. Going to be close at the line. Salisbury will be your race leader. Here comes Jayberg. Salisbury tries to get to the bottom. He will clear Clark. Clark back to second, but here comes Jayberg on the outside. Gage Jayberg for the second spot. 2 laps to go for Salisbury and Jayberg. Clark, Finlayson, and Ennis Sr. Little over half a lap to go. Jayberg tries to the outside. Off of turn number 2, doesn't make it work. Salisbury on the bottom. Jayberg going to pile it in there and get sideways. Oh, he's not going to correct it. Blaine Salisbury will be your winner in the 4. The 169 of Alan Clark will finish second. Larry Ennis Sr. will finish third. The 15 of Kyle Finlayson in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, the 21 of Jayberg. Pulling to the line from Sherrodville, Ohio in the Take 2 Bucky Mowing, Westman Motorsports, Beaver Creek Landscaping, sponsored number 4 machine. Put your hands together for Blaine Salisbury. The 95 is Lisa Moore, and we are green for heat race number 2. McDonald, Jr., and Oliver. McDonald all the way up into the outside lane, making a little bit of contact with the 19 of Oliver. Clayton Oliver going to take over the top spot off of turn number 4. Clayton Oliver will lead lap number 1. Ryan Schreffler trying to make some work on the bottom, just goes in and absolutely door slams the 16 of McDonald, but everybody keeps it in the right direction, and Schreffler is going to move up to the second spot. The 28 of Koger up to the third spot. Lisa Moore in the 95 runs fourth. Christian Bailey fifth. And McDonald Jr. back to the sixth spot. Clayton Oliver, your race leader. Here comes Lisa Moore for the third spot as she'll get around the 28 of Zach Koger. Koger filling in tonight for Jim Keller Jr. as McDonald pulls pit side in the 16M machine. Lisa Moore trying to work the 24 of Ryan Schreffler as the 19 of Oliver way out in front. Christian Bailey in the fourth spot. 5 laps down, 3 to go, 5 in, 3 to go. Race leader Clayton Oliver. Lisa Moore on the high lane, Ryan Schreffler on the bottom. Christian Bailey runs right behind that battle for the second spot. Schreffler and Moore and Bailey, all three machines battle for the second spot. White flag for Clayton Oliver. Schreffler slides up the racetrack. Here comes Christian Bailey and Lisa Moore. 3 wide into turn number 3. Who's going to come out of this one behind Oliver? Schreffler slides up into Moore. The 46 of Bailey going to finish second. From Malvern, Ohio, in the Deluxe Auto Body Riddle Trucking, Gregory Kinzinger, DDS, Morgan Vinyl Graphics, sponsored number 19. Heat race number 2 winner, your Canton Auto Salvage Compacts. Put your hands together for Clayton Oliver. New chief starter on the flag stand for this third compact heat race. The assistant announcer, Matthew Helms, going to give the green flag to McHugh and Corbett off of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. McHugh will take the race lead into turn number 1, all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, kicking up a little dirt. Chase Beatty battles for that second spot as he gets to the bottom side of Hunter Corbett. Corbett slams the door. Beatty in third, Brandon France in fourth, Heron in fifth, and Stresky. McHugh leaves the bottom of the racetrack open for Hunter Corbett. Corbett not able to get to the bottom lane. Still running in the second spot. Here comes Brandon France in the 38. Starting to close on the 2 leaders. Now contact in turn number 4. Corbett and McHugh in turn number 4. We'll call everybody down once all the machines get on the front straightaway for Kids Riding the Cars night here at intermission coming up in just a few minutes. Green flag back in the air. France and Heron. Chase Beatty up the racetrack as Laney Stresky drops back to the bottom. Corey Heron just not quite able to close the door on France in turn number 1. France going to battle back into turn number 3. Side by side for heat race number 3, compact division. France gets a little push in the center of the corner, but is going to lead at the line. Heron runs second. Beatty on the high side in third. Stresky in fourth. Now Brandon France pulling out and will clear the 30 of Heron. Heron going to stay in the high lane. Stresky and Beatty battle for the third spot. Smoke starting to spew out of the number 30 of Heron with a lap and a half to go. Brandon France is your leader. Here comes Evelyn Stresky into the second spot. Yes, I know everybody calls her Laney, but I'm going to call her Evelyn because that's her real name. White flag in the air for the 38 of France. Into turn number 3 for the final time. Brandon France off of turn number 4. Going to pick up the heat race win. Brandon France, your winner. Laney Stresky finishes second. Corey Herron in third. And Chase Beatty rounding out your field. Again, just make sure you leave a pathway for everybody to get onto the racetrack. Nobody's going to go onto the flag stand or the racetrack until all cars are on the speedway and stopped. Is pulling to the line your third heat race winner in your Canton Auto Salvage Compact Division from Dover, Ohio. In the DeVore's Auto Repair, rent-to-own, Amsoil, Pauline's Place, Allen's Muffler, sponsored number 38. Put your hands together for Brandon France.
Millie's in back of Laney's car, by the way. Here she comes. She's in the back, down at the back seat.
I think she's in between me and Mama D. I got married right before she was born. I was she might be 27. She'll be 26. I know she's older than me, and I'm 26 years old.
Kids race car rides. First session underway. A little over 3 laps left for the first group. Again, make sure we've got a hole up here in the grandstand side so we can get everybody off of the racetrack and get our second group of people back on. If you want to come down and take pictures, please make sure you come down and take all you want, but stay to the infield side, please. Again, if you're not riding in a race car, stop down and get a dollar dog or a dollar pop. Maybe you want to stop up and see John Chapman and Mid-Vid racing videos. Pick up a DVD from tonight's action or previous week this season.
One of them is 20-something. He lives there.
Well, the night we were, and I saw you at, what you call, you had 2 kids with you.
That was her friend. Her daughter's friend.
Okay.
The real light-skinned one that looks just like her,
Yeah.
that's her daughter. The other one was just her daughter's friend.
So the one was darker, the other one was lighter.
No, no.
What about this?
racetrack back up on the steps so that we can bring our second group of people out. Again, no double riders. If you've already rode in a race car, please do not come back out. We want to give everybody a chance to ride in the race cars and get on with our racing program. So thank you to all the drivers that did come out. A little disappointed at some of my late model buddies over there for not coming out tonight. Rosenberry, both Smiths. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to those guys right now. A little disappointed. The kids are disappointed. They're the most disappointed out of all this.
If we got to let them down there, we'll get it down there. Get out of here.
Again, please make your way. If you've already rode in a race car, please make your way to the grandstand. So the 36 of Mike Green, the 54 of Big Mac, Doug McMillan, the 09 of Philip Cox, the 21 of Bryce Allensworth, your current point runner-up. Brandon Bailey in the 55, third in points. Fifth in points is the 2 of Lee McCreary. The retro paint scheme from Glenn Jewell, the fastest qualifier Bob Sibla Jr., 25-lap modified feature is green. Green gets the run off of turns 1 and 2 and will build a big lead at the end of the back straightaway. Cox and McMillan battle for the second spot. A little bit of contact between the 55 of Bailey and the 54 of McMillan. McMillan gets shuffled way back in the third groove as the 55 of Brandon Bailey moves up to the third spot. Glenn Jewell in that retro paint scheme is fourth. And the 21 of Allensworth runs fifth. Mike Green, your race leader. Here comes McCreary on the outside of Kaufman for the sixth spot. Lee McCreary up to sixth. A little bit of contact back in the pack between Todd Ripley and Andrew Wise. Latter half of the top 10. Wise is sideways off of turn number 2. He keeps it going. And we're still under green flag with 6 laps on the board. Six laps complete. Mike Green, your race leader. Philip Cox runs in the second spot. Brandon Bailey in third. He's under fire from Glenn Jewell in the 24. Bryce Allensworth, current runner-up in points, doing what he needs to do, a few positions ahead of Bob Sibla Jr. as the 21 of Allensworth runs in the 5th spot. Lee McCreary runs 6th. Kaufman runs 7th. Lucas Ripley runs 8th. Then the 82 of Sibla Jr., your fastest qualifier and point leader. Then the 14 of Wise, the 65 of Todd Ripley, the 40 of Krebs, the 54 of McMillan, the 92 of Hudson, and the 46 of Slentz. Philip Cox has caught the 36 of Green as Slentz spins off of turn number 4 right in front of the leaders. The 24 of Glenn Jewell and the 2 of Lee McCreary. Also the 27 of Swaney went to the pit area as well. Off of turn number 4, looking for chief starter Jason Neely's green flag. And we're back under green. Cox gets a good run through turn number 1, but Green's going to have the momentum on the inside of the racetrack, and he'll pull out to the lead. Cox ducks in behind. Here comes Glenn Jewell in the retro paint scheme up to third, looking for second on the outside of the 09 of Philip Cox. McCreary up to the 5th spot, working on 4th on the outside of the 55 of Bailey. Front 3 single file. Then the battle for 4th between McCreary and Bailey, with the 21 of Allensworth right there waiting on one of them to make a mistake, kind of boxed in. As McCreary going to get the run down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He's going to clear the 55 of Bailey and slide way up the racetrack. McCreary, does he hang on to it? He does. Nice save by Lee McCreary, but he drops about 3 spots as he moved up to the 4th spot. Now drops all the way back to 7th. Tough break for McCreary as he hangs on to it. Mike Green, still your race leader. Single file up front. With him, Philip Cox. Glenn Jewell starting to break away just a little bit from the 55 of Bailey and the 21 of Allensworth in 4th and 5th. 15 laps on the board, 10 to go as Jewell looks to the inside of Cox down in turn number 1. Caution in turn number 2 for Glenn Jewell. Second and third in points is ahead of Sibla right now as the green flag back in the air. 10 to go for Green and Cox. Mike Green going to clear the 09 down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Cox tries to close the door and does on the 55 of Bailey. And a spin in the back of the pack for the 92 of Mike Hudson. Caution on the speedway. Ten laps to go. 25 lap feature is back green for the Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. Philip Cox gets a good restart through turns 1 and 2 and is even with the 36 down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Green going to pull the advantage off of turn number 4, gets sideways as the 55 of Bailey gets underneath the 09 of Cox. Cox closes the door on the 55 of Bailey and maintains that second spot. Lucas Ripley up to 4th. McCreary to 5th. Allensworth stuck in the high lane, dropping back to the 6th spot. Bryce Allensworth will pull pit side. Your second place man in points pulls to the pits. Tough break for Allensworth as Mike Green continues to pull away. Mike Green about 4 car lengths ahead of Philip Cox, Brandon Bailey, Lucas Ripley, and Lee McCreary, your top 5 machines. Running 6, Sean Kaufman. 7th, the 14 of Andrew Wise. 8th, the 82 of Sibla. Then McMillan, Krebs, and Hudson. White flag for Mike Green. Black flag for the 40 of Krebs, who's leaking some fluid on the speedway, and now caution or contact in turn number 2. So the 10 of Sean Kaufman spins in turn number 2 after some contact. Mike Green, does he have enough to hang on to pick up his second feature win of the season? Philip Cox looking for his first. Brandon Bailey looking for his first, runs 3rd. Green flag off of turn number 4. Green with a good restart. Cox gets into the 55 of Bailey, tries to get to the bottom of the racetrack and does. Down the back straightaway, Lucas Ripley moves up to the 3rd spot. Off turn number 4, your winner is going to be the 36 of Mike Green. Philip Cox in 2nd. The 0 of Lucas Ripley finishes 3rd. The 55 of Brandon Bailey and the 2 of Lee McCreary. Pretty good feature in your modified division. Mike Green picks up his second feature victory of the season. Philip Cox with a good second place run. Lucas Ripley finishes 3rd. Mike Green back in victory lane. Into Bob's Auto Sales. All Parts Auto Care, Diane O'Rennell, sponsored number 36 in downtown Ford Victory Lane for the second time in 2015. Getting the belts undone. Getting ready to climb out. Put your hands together for your modified feature winner, Mike Green. Come on over here, man. That was a good one. You took the lead right off the start. You held it. You had a little bit of pressure here and there, but I know you didn't want to see that last caution.
Yeah, that was a little coming off a 4 and you see the caution go. I'm going like, are you kidding me? This is just the way my luck is. But, luckily got it done tonight.
I'll tell you what, this car was hooked up right on the bottom of the racetrack. Nobody could touch you once you got out front. Who you want to thank tonight?
Definitely Joe Walker, Preston Walker, Big Dog there, and Terry Meyer, all parts. They did a great job setting the car up and everything and helping me out. So, it's just great to be here with these guys that are out here. And
second feature victory of the season. Gotta love it.
Yeah, heck, can't beat it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again, put your hands together for your modified feature winner, Mike Green. But the 15-year-old rookie is hanging on to that point lead right now, and he starts ahead of his closest competitor, the 3 of Tad Grove, driving for his brother Kyle tonight. Waylon Orr starts outside of row number 3. 20-lap JD Byrider Street Stock feature. Field is in turn number 3. They'll look for Chief Starter Jason Neely's green flag off of turn number 4. Bill Aubill and the 75 of Passwater Senior. Green is in the air. Passwaters gets a good run down into turn number 1. Aubill battles back off of turn number 2. Bill Aubill and Passwaters even into turn number 3. Aubill will nose out ahead. Passwater sideways in turn 4, now bottling up the field. Aubill, your race leader. Todd Miller up to 2nd. Colton Ritchie up to 3rd. Passwater Senior in 4th. And here comes Tad Grove to the inside of Passwater Senior. Grove up to the 4th spot. Kylie Wood pulls pit side into 22. Tough break on the completion of lap number 1 for the 44 of Smith and the 75 of Passwater Senior, as they drop all the way back to the 5th and 6th spots. Aubill, your race leader. Miller right there in 2nd. Ritchie in 3rd. Grove in 4th. Here comes Colton Ritchie to the outside of the 77 of Miller. Colton Ritchie, the 15-year-old rookie, way up the racetrack down the back straightaway. Miller and Smith for the 3rd and 4th spots. Ritchie almost clears the 77 down the front straightaway. Aubill continues to lead. Two by two behind Aubill. Here comes Smith. 3 wide into turn number 3. Miller backs out. Smith going to move up to the 2nd spot. Slide up into Ritchie. Smith and Ritchie battle for 2nd. Bold move by the 44 of Smith, and he made it work all the way up to the 2nd spot. Ritchie still hanging tough on the outside. Here comes the 3 of Tad Grove in the 4th spot. Here comes Smith to the inside of Abil. Abil closes the door. Contact between the two leaders in turn number 3. Back under the green flag. Larry Smith, Colton Ritchie off turn number 4. Smith will take the advantage off of turn number 2. Contact between the 44 and 21 into turn number 3. Larry Smith going to be the race leader at the line. Here comes the 3 of Grove to the inside of the 21 of Ritchie. Grove and Ritchie side by side, your 2-point leaders, contenders for that championship. Grove will take it. The 21 of Ritchie, possibly with a left front tire going soft. The 77 of Miller tried to get to the inside. Ritchie still trying to hang on to that 3rd spot as here comes Tad Grove for the race lead. Grove to the inside. Smith's going to slam the door closed. 13 laps complete this time. Here comes the 55 of Bertram to the inside of the 21 of Ritchie. Bertram and Ritchie, a little bit of contact in turn number 3. Ritchie with a possible left front going soft in that 21, trying to hang on for the final 5 laps. As Tad Grove battles to the outside of the 44 of Smith, looking high, looking low. Smith, your race leader. Grove runs 2nd. And Ritchie way up the racetrack, going to almost make contact with the turn 4 wall. Larry Smith, Tad Grove out front in your JD Byrider Street Stock feature. Grove to the outside. Off turn number 4. Smith is still your race leader. Last lap for the 44 of Smith. Been so close to a feature victory this season. Is he going to hang on for his first? Off turn number 4, your feature winner, Larry Smith. Tad Grove finishes 2nd, Kyler Bertram in 3rd, Todd Miller in 4th, and Waylon Orr rounding out your top 5. The flag stand, you will be thrown out, just for the record. Larry Smith, first career feature victory in the 44. Joe's Auto Service, Stewart's Flooring, the sponsors on the Smith machine. Appliance and more, setups by Elkins. Climbing out your JD Byrider Street Stock feature winner, Larry Smith. Larry, well, you said earlier that tonight was the night. First career feature win, how's it feel?
First one in about 5 or 6 years. Feels pretty good.
I tell you what, this car was hooked up. You got to the inside of Abil. You want to give your take on that? The replay showed you were all the way to the door.
Yeah, I was up to the door. I tried to back out because it looked like he was coming down, but he come down a little too far.
Congratulations. Who you want to thank on this 44 tonight?
Joe Uslich, Mike Ravenscroft, Stacy Uslich, Sarah, all the fans, Stewart's Flooring, Alliance and more. That's about it.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Your JD Byrider Street Stock feature winner, the first time in a long time. I thought it was his first career, but apparently it's not. But it seems like it. Larry Smith. The 42 of Tom Stankiewicz, your point leader, the 12 of Bubba Smith, and fresh off a top 5 in the main event series race last night at Toledo Speedway in a different car, the number 2 of Alex Rosenberry, as Monar comes back out in the 48. 30-lap McIntosh Oil Company late model feature is green. Mike Miller gets a good start and drops from the top to the bottom in turn number 1. He'll take over the race lead, and caution in turn number 1 for the 45 of Hoopa Gardner and the 3 of Martin, who make contact. Field works its way down the back straightaway. We'll try it again into turn number 3. Summers and Miller, Baker and Ritter. Green flag back in the air. Much better restart this time as Miller gets the run down into turn number 1 on the outside. Summers battles back to the inside. Miller going to clear him into turn number 3. Mike Miller, your race leader in turn number 3. Ritter going to come around the high side of Summers to take over second. Mike Miller, your race leader in the 53. Rosenberry marching up from the middle of the pack to the 5th spot. He's behind the Stankiewicz and Summers battle for 3rd as Ritter is all over the back of the 53 of Miller. Stankiewicz going to take over the 3rd spot, and here comes Rosenberry for 4th. Rosenberry to 4th, Stankiewicz to 3rd, Ritter runs 2nd. Miller is your race leader 4 laps in and 26 to go. Ritter all over the back of that 53 of Miller. Rosenberry looks to the outside of Tom Stankiewicz through turns 3 and 4. And now caution in turn number 3. Caution for the 45 of Hoopengardner and the 17 of Snyder. Miller and Ritter, both looking for their first feature wins in 2015. Rosenberry looking for his 2nd. Stankiewicz looking for his 1st. Green flag off of turn number 4. Ritter with a good run on the outside, going to take over the race lead off of turn number 2. Miller back to second. Here comes Rosenberry to the outside of the 53 through turns 3 and 4. Jonathan Ritter, your new race leader. Rosenberry and Miller side by side for second. Stankiewicz and Bubba Smith battle for the 4th spot. Miller a little sideways on the bottom, going to give up that 2nd spot. Rosenberry to second. Stankiewicz and Bubba Smith still battle for the 4th spot behind the 53 of Miller. Ritter, your race leader. Rosenberry runs second. Those two starting to inch away from the 53 of Miller. Miller continues to hold on to that 3rd spot side by side for 4th. That battle continues between Stankiewicz and Bubba Smith. Bryant Smith in 6th looks on. Ritter and Rosenberry continue to pull away just a little bit. 13 laps complete, almost halfway for Jonathan Ritter. Caution on lap number 14 for the 53 of Mike Miller, who broke out of his qualifying time. Mike Miller will be sent to the tail after running 3rd. He was your early race leader, broke out of his qualifying time, and will be sent to the tail. Tough break for the 53 of Miller. 14 laps down, 16 to go. Will Ritter be able to hold off fastest qualifier Alex Rosenberry? Needs a great restart here. Green is in the air off of turn number 4. Rosenberry and Ritter side by side. Rosenberry going to pull ahead by a half a car length into turn number 3. Ritter trying to battle back on the bottom. Sideways in turn number 4. Alex Rosenberry, your new race leader. Here comes Bubba Smith to the outside of Ritter. Caution on the speedway for the 3 of Dave Martin and the 48 of Monar. Rosenberry got the jump on the last restart, but it was null and void. And the green is back in the air with 16 to go, side by side at the line between Ritter and Rosenberry. Rosenberry going to pull into the race lead down the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Ritter falls into 2nd. Smith in 3rd. Stankiewicz in 4th. Bryant Smith in 5th. Halfway home, 15 in, 15 to go for Alex Rosenberry. Second now on the outside for the restart. The 12 of Bubba Smith, the 42 of Tom Stankiewicz in 3rd and 4th. Then the 31 of Summers runs 5th. The 22 of Ripley runs 6th. Then the 17 of Snyder, the 6 of Baker, the 53 of Miller, the 45 of Hoopengardner, the 3 of Martin, and the 48 of Monar. Tough break for Brian Smith as he takes his machine pit side. And the green flag is back in the air. Ritter and Rosenberry. Bubba Smith for the second spot. He'll take it over. Bubba Smith to second. Ritter back to third. Stankiewicz in fourth. Summers in fifth. Ripley to Summers is outside. Battle for fifth between those two machines as Rosenberry, Bubba Smith, your front two machines. Alex Rosenberry continues to pull away just a little bit from Bubba Smith. Smith starting to put some distance between himself and Ritter. Stankiewicz runs in the fourth spot. Now the 22 of Ripley pulls pit side. Tough break for Todd Ripley running in the sixth spot as Doug Summers runs fifth. Now that moves the 17 of Snyder to sixth. Miller back up to seventh. Larry Baker eighth. Gary Hoopengarner ninth. And Dave Martin in 10th. Your race leader with 9 laps to go is Alex Rosenberry. Snyder sideways off of turn number 4. Field in turn number 3, looking for the restart. Green flag is in the air. Rosenberry with the race lead down through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. Smith will battle to the outside through 3 and 4. Rosenberry and Smith side by side for the race lead. Rosenberry and Smith. Rosenberry kind of closed the door on the back straightaway on the 12 of Smith. Smith falls in behind Rosenberry, your race leader. Ritter runs into third spot. Stankiewicz in fourth. Miller up to fifth. Five laps to go for Alex Rosenberry, who continues to pull away from Bubba Smith. Bob Snyder Jr. spins in turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Rosenberry and Smith. Contact between Summers and Miller on the front straightaway. Everybody keeps it going straight. Rosenberry out to the race lead. Bubba Smith going to try the outside. Not going to make it work. Drops back to the bottom. Rosenberry your leader. Stankiewicz to the outside of Ritter for the third spot. 4 laps to go this time. Stankiewicz and Ritter battle for the third spot. Stankiewicz sideways off of turn number 4. He'll take over the third spot from Ritter. Ritter back to fourth. Miller fifth. Rosenberry in control with 3 more laps to go. Rosenberry, Smith, Stankiewicz, Ritter, Miller. White flag in the air for Alex Rosenberry. into turn number 3. 5th place finish last night. Tonight he's on the top spot of the podium, Alex Rosenberry. Bubba Smith finishes 2nd. Tom Stankiewicz in 3rd. Jonathan Ritter 4th. And the 53 of Mike Miller rounding out the top 5. Bubba Smith did everything he could to try and get around the 2 of Rosenberry. But tonight, it was Rosenberry's night. 2nd feature victory of 2015. Good 2nd place run by Bubba Smith. How about Tom Stankiewicz, your 3rd place finisher? Good 3rd place run by Tom Stankiewicz. In the flight test, Rosenberry Towing sponsored number 2. A 5th place finish in the main event racing series last night at Toledo Speedway in a brand new car. Well, brand new for him anyway. He's back in that familiar black and orange number 2, and he's back in familiar downtown Ford Victory Lane at Midvale Speedway. Getting the helmet out, off, out, whatever, as he looks at me with a weird look. Pulling the belts off. The Hans device comes off, getting ready to climb out. Let's hear him for Alex Rosenberry. Well, 1st place better than 5th, huh?
Yeah, but without power steering last night, 5th wasn't bad. All in all, a good weekend. Thanks to everybody that's been a part of it. Flight test, my mom, dad, Larry, Todd. Larry's actually on vacation, so hope he's enjoying this one from Myrtle Beach. Grandma, grandpa, uncle, everybody that's been a part of this past week, well, this past year. It's been a bad luck year, so hopefully it's starting to turn around. Wasn't too bad last night. Had to go to the tail and then work back up to 5th, so we'll take that and then come here and sit on the pole and start 8th.
Well, let's talk about a couple of those restarts. Ritter was really hard to get around. I know he was on a little bit older tires. I don't know how old your tires are, but he told me earlier he was just going to try and get the best finish he could. He gave you all you could handle there, and then you had to say, oh, no, another caution, and Bubba was on the outside of you. You and Bubba raced clean, good restarts. You just had a little bit more power under this number 2 tonight.
Yeah, I got tight coming out of 2 there with Bubba. I apologize for that. Didn't mean to squeeze him against the wall, but yeah, getting on side of Ritter, that was tough, but I knew if I could keep him on the outside like Bubba, I could get around him.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Win number 2 of 2015. Put your hands together for Alex Rosenberry. Alex Rosenberry back in victory lane at Midvale Speedway for the 2nd time in 2015. Ryan Schreffler subbing for his brother tonight in that number 24. And Zach Koger subbing for Jim Keller Jr. Christian Bailey, Lisa Moore, green flag, 20-lap compact feature. Clayton Oliver with a 3-wide move. In the middle of the pack, around the 50 of Ennis Sr., and here comes Gage Jayberg on the move already. Battle for the race lead. Lap number 1 is going to go to the 24 of Schreffler. All kinds of contact between the 46 of Bailey and the 28 of Koger. For the second spot is Schreffler, your race leader. Bailey, a fender ahead of the 28 of Koger into turn number 3. And he'll take over that second spot. And here comes Alan Clark for third. Clark to the inside of Koger. Schreffler is still your race leader. The 4 of Blaine Salisbury up into the 5th spot now as he goes to the outside of the 15 of Kyle Finlayson. Finlayson and Salisbury side by side for the 4th spot as Christian Bailey takes a look to the outside of Schreffler. Opens the bottom up for Alan Clark. Clark's going to take it. Alan Clark to the inside of the 46 of Bailey down the back straightaway. Here comes Salisbury in the 4th spot. Gage Jayberg trying to work his way up in the middle of the pack. Schreffler continues to lead, Clark to second. Schreffler trying to protect the bottom. Clark and Salisbury. Contact in turn number 1 between Clark and Salisbury. Clark slides up the racetrack. Salisbury unable to get by the 169. Now he's going to try it again through 3 and 4. Salisbury going to have the power and momentum on the outside. He'll take over the second spot. Here comes Blaine Salisbury for the race lead. A little bit of contact between the 4 and 24. Side by side for the race lead at the line. Your new leader, Blaine Salisbury. Halfway home, 10 in, 10 to go for Blaine Salisbury. Ryan Schreffler runs second, Alan Clark in third, Dan Bucky up to fourth, Christian Bailey in fifth, and Gage Jayberg in sixth. Dan Bucky trying to make some noise on the outside of Christian Bailey for the fourth spot. Trying to pull Gage Jayberg with him. Jayberg looks to go 3 wide. Thought better of it. Now here comes Ennis Jr. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Ennis will back out. Nowhere to go right now for Jayberg as Hunter Corbett gets into the wall in turn number 4, right in front of the second and third place battle. Big bagel of cars as the 4 of Salisbury continues to pull away. 3 wide, almost 4 wide into turn number 3. Bucky gets contact. Jayberg gets contact. Bucky spins and is collected by the 19 of Oliver. You knew it was just a matter of time with all of those cars piled in together. The eye of the storm. 3 wide move. And Bucky got sideways in turns 3 and 4, and Clayton Oliver hit the 69 of Bucky Tough break for Dan Bucky. Lots of damage to that 69 machine in turn number 4. Schreffler runs second. Alan Clark in third. Christian Bailey in fourth. Kyle Finlayson in fifth. The 28 of Koger, the 38 of France, the 50 of Beatty, the 42 of McHugh, the 01 of Corbett, and the 21 of Jayberg. So field coming to green. Salisbury very slow bringing the field in turn number 4, or 3 and 4. Schreffler, Clark, Bailey. Green flag back in the air. Larry Ennis Jr. with a 3-wide move through turns 1 and 2. Will he make it stick down the back straightaway? 3 wide into turn number 3. Finlayson on the inside. Bailey in the middle. Ennis Jr. on the outside. Salisbury continues to lead. Schreffler in second. Clark in third. Finlayson fourth. Bailey fifth. Ennis Jr. trying to make some headway in the outside lane. Here comes Finlayson. Below the 69 of Clark. 169 of Clark. Contact in turn 4. Schreffler slides up the racetrack, going to give up the second spot to the 169 of Clark. Alan Clark sideways down in the dirt, slides up into Schreffler and picks up the second spot. Move Alan Clark to second. Salisbury, your race leader, with 3.5 laps to go. Caution in turn number 4, Ryan Schreffler in the 24.
46.
Tough break for Ryan Schreffler in the 24.
The 46 of Christian Bailey, the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr., and the 95.
Larry Ennis Sr. in 7th. The 19 of Clayton Oliver is 8th. 9th is the 17 of Laney Stresky. And then the 16 of McDonald Jr. 4 laps to go. Salisbury and Clark. Green flag back in the air. McDonald not getting a good start as he drops way back. Gage Jayberg starting to climb his way back up through the field. Jayberg running on the outside almost in the third groove, trying to make up some ground. Salisbury continues to lead with 3 laps to go. Larry Ennis Jr. to 4th. Larry Ennis Sr. pokes his nose underneath his son off of turn number 4, trying to take over that 4th spot. Salisbury, Clark, Finlayson, and the Ennis's battle for the 4th spot. Here comes Jayberg, trying to get around Bailey for the 5th spot. 6th spot, rather. down the back straightaway. Final time. Salisbury into turn number 3. Your winner, Blaine Salisbury. Alan Clark finishes second. The 15 of Kyle Finlayson finishes third. The 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. in fourth. Larry Ennis Sr. in fifth. And Gage Jayberg will finish sixth. Good second place run by Alan Clark. Good third place run by Kyle Finlayson. Pulling into victory lane, into Bucky Mowing, Take Two Video and Tanning, Wisman Motorsports, sponsored number 4. Climbing out, put your hands together for Blaine Salisbury. Good run, man. I'll tell you what, you had your work cut out for you, but once you got this thing out front, you didn't want to see that caution, did you?
It didn't matter. I knew I had the motor.
I'll tell you what, this thing was on a rail. Once again, want to thank you for the sticker you gave me earlier. I appreciate that.
Guy.
And who you want to thank on this number 4 tonight, man? It's been a while since I've seen you in victory lane.
Take Two and Tanning. I don't know all of them. River Creek Landscaping. Bucky Mowing. Knowing he's mad at me right now. There's more. I can't think of them.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Put your hands together for your feature winner, Blaine Salisbury. In row number 3, 12-lap mini truck feature to end week number 14 on Ferris Chevrolet night at Midvale Speedway. Off of turn number 4, Chief starter Jason Neely's green flag is in the air, and Jayberg will get the jump down into turn number 1. Cody Jayberg, your race leader, Derek Cordia moves up to the second spot. Here comes Nicholas for third. Dusty Nicholas not wasting any time up to the third spot. Leinert getting boxed in by the 95 of Varnes and the 751 of Bedard. He'll move up to the fourth spot down in turn number 1. Jayberg, your race leader. Derek Cordia runs second. Jayberg, your race leader. Nicholas to the outside of the 72 of Cordia. Off of turn number 2, side by side for second as Jayberg leads. Here comes Nicholas. Leinert is caught back up to the top 4 or the top 3. Jayberg continues to lead. Nicholas up to the second spot. Here comes Cordia to the bottom. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Nicholas gonna take the race lead, dive to the bottom. Cordia runs in the second spot. Leinert moves up to third. Jayberg way up the racetrack, still runs in the 4th spot. Leinert to the outside of the 72 of Cordia. Battle for second. Cordia and Leinert into turn number 3 as Dusty Nicholas, your race leader, will see the cross flags halfway home. 6 in, 6 to go. Leinert takes over that second spot. Does he have enough time to catch Nicholas? Dusty Nicholas with a 3 wide move down the back straightaway took the race lead away from Derek Cordia and the 22 of Cody Jayberg. Leinert up to second, Cordia to third, Jayberg to 4th. Alan Bedard runs in the 5th spot and Michael Varnes in 6th. Leinert is inching closer but running out of time with only 2 laps to go. Cordia having a nice run in the 3rd spot. White flag for Dusty Nicholas. Off turn number 4, your feature winner in the mini truck division, Dusty Nicholas. Joe Leinert finishes 2nd. Derek Cordia finishes 3rd. Cody Jayberg finishes 4th. And here comes the battle for 5th between Varnes and Bedard. And Varnes will finish in the 5th spot. Sorry, Bedard will finish 5th. Varnes is a lap down. Thank you to everybody for coming out tonight on Ferris Chevrolet Night. Dollar Dog, Dollar Pop, kids race car rides tonight at Midvale Speedway. We'll see everybody next week for the McDonald's Cruise In. Smoking Joe Leinert with a good 2nd place run. Derek Cordia in the Cadillac finishes 3rd. And your winner in the M&D Design sponsored number 23, currently the points runner-up. Going to cut into his stepdad's lead a little bit tonight. McIntyre Plumbing also on this 23 machine. Climbing out, put your hands together, Dusty Nicholas. See, I called you by your right name.
Yeah, you're right. Matt doesn't, though.
That's all right, though. That's why I'm the new voice of Midvale Speedway.
Well, Matt does good too, so you have to share, right?
Exactly. He does a great job. Hey, tell me about your run, man. How about that 3-wide move for the lead, huh? You're getting used to doing these 3-wide moves.
Well, it was a little tight in practice in the first groove today, so Keith was telling me to bump it up, and it just felt good the whole race and the heat race, so.
Good thing you didn't get a caution because that 82 was coming, though.
Yeah, I don't think he would have had enough for me, though.
You still think this 23 truck was plenty fast? You're just saving it.
Yeah, I would have had him.
So you cut into the point lead a little bit since Stepdad's standing over there with his T-shirt on. What do you think? You still got something for him, you think?
I'm just out here for fun. I don't care about points.
Well, congratulations. Another feature victory. Got to make you smile.
Yeah, thanks.
Put your hands together for Dusty Nicholas. Once again, thank you to everybody for coming out to Midvale Speedway. Week number 14 in the books. Week number 15 next week, the McDonald's Cruise In, presented by McIntosh Oil Company. We'll see everybody here next week. Please be careful and be safe going home. Have a great Sunday and a great next week. Hopefully we'll continue to have the beautiful weather that we've had the last month or so here next week at Midvale Speedway.